Hey YouTube, we're back with another video. So the video is going to be about my 72 Ford F100 truck. I'd actually wrote about a 4-page script for this, but yeah, we're not using that. Y'all gonna have to just kind of bear with me if I don't recall all the I don't recall the sequence of how everything happened with this truck. You know, from the time of wrecking my other truck up to, getting this thing running. It's been around 15 years. Maybe less than that. I'm getting old. I can't remember much of anything. All right, let's now, I'd intended when we started putting this truck together, we had intended for it to be a work truck. We had intended for this thing to kind of, be a work truck, but it turned more into an unintentional RATROD, which now with all the rat nesting material sticking out of it, it might actually be a rat rod. But when I bought this truck, I don't know if y'all can see me, but I'm getting old and tired, so y'all just gonna have to deal with me leaning on everything. Now, when I got this truck, I knew I was buying a truck that didn't have an engine, and it didn't have a transmission, and it didn't have wheels. But I went on and bought it anyway because my brother had it, and he was just starting off in life at the time and needed the money, and I had the money. And I think I paid him $300 or $350 for the body, which he paid less than that for it, which I don't mind. Hell, it was worth that. It's probably worth more than that. Still probably was worth more than that. But anyway, my brother also had his daddy's 78 F100. By the way, when I say my brother, he's actually my half brother, but I just say brother because I don't like having to go in. I don't care to have to explain everything all the time. It gets old after a while. So anyway, he had his daddy's 78 F100, and I don't know what possessed him to do it, but he gave me the engine and transmission out of it. And the thing was, I had to pay to have it towed from, where it was at. It wasn't close by. It was about 50 miles away in another county. So, I agreed to go ahead and do that because that was going to be cheaper than trying to buy an unknown engine out of a junkyard. Because I knew this motor was good. I knew it. Ronnie knew it. We all knew it. But he told me that the reason his daddy stopped driving the truck was because the transmission was wore out and it was slipping, and that I'd have to have it rebuilt. And I knew that, and so I just went ahead and did it anyway. The motor's worth something because it's good and it runs. Okay, so we got the truck back here, and it took us a little while, because we were all young. Well, he was young, I was younger, and it took us a while to get it here, but we finally got it here. And we pulled the motor and transmission out of it, and I salvaged a couple of other parts off that truck for this truck, which I actually wasn't able to use. I think it was a bumper. Yeah, I think it was just a bumper. 78, they had a wider frame, and I was gonna have to do a bunch of cutting and welding. That, well, we didn't have access to a welder back then, so that's that. But anyway, we I decided that the motor was old, and the gaskets were just as old. So this motor got it got all new gaskets in it. The only ones that weren't changed were the intake gasket and the valve cover gasket. And for whatever reason, I don't quite understand anymore, is this truck doesn't have, it's got exhaust manifolds on it, and the old 78 might have had a cracked exhaust manifold. My brother had about a handful of motors back then, and for some reason a lot of them had cracked exhaust manifolds. I can't remember I'm sorry, I just don't remember the entire thing about it. But anyway, we put different manifolds on it, and it's and this is kind of shit. Damn, it's terrible to get old, YouTube. I can't remember a damn thing. But anyway, I've got mixed matched exhaust manifolds on this truck. I think we had to do that because that was the only way we could get a set of manifolds on it that wasn't cracked. I think I just can't remember. It's been too long, YouTube. Oh, yeah. Other thing we done from got off that 78, we robbed power steering all the power steering stuff off of it, and converted this truck to power steering. If you're looking to convert a 70s Ford to power steering, a 78, 79 steering column is a direct bolt-in, no modifications needed, except when you get to wiring it up. I don't know how to wire it, and it'd be too much to explain. But anyway, the wiring is different, but the column and all is a direct bolt-in, and the pump. At the time we did it, we didn't know that the Speedway Motors sold adapters that could have just plugged into the old the harness on this truck, and the wiring harness in the column. I didn't know that, and I'm still not completely sure if they actually sell one to convert 71 Ford to 78 or 79 wiring. That I'm still not entirely sure about. But anyway, back to the motor. We replaced the water pump and the timing chain. Let's see, new thermostat, which by the way, all this stuff's kind of old now. It's probably going to need to be replaced again. But anyway, thermostat, new hoses. The radiator's we already won out of another vehicle, and I don't remember. It may have come out of the parts van that I bought for this truck. Which, yeah, that was kind of a bum deal too. I didn't know that the frame was different on a parts van than this. But anyway, I'll get to that, and I'll get to that when I get to it. But let's see. Anyway, we did all that. We got this thing running. I had the transmission rebuilt, and then there was some funny business with the transmission that I don't exactly recall. I remember us going to the parts house, O'Reilly Auto Parts, when it first come here to my town. It only been here maybe a month, and they had a couple of kids that I guarantee ended up working in there that day, and I guarantee you both of them were under 20 years old. Well, we spent about 45 minutes in there trying to buy a flywheel for this thing, and I don't remember exactly why we determined we needed a new flywheel either, but anyway, 45 minutes later and a couple calls to their tech support line, we got a flywheel that was still the wrong damn thing. So anyway, we yeah, it was something to do with something. I think it was something to do with the bolt pattern on the torque converter, or something. If I can if I remember correctly. I don't recall, but anyway, we wound up reusing. I believe we put the original flywheel back on this motor, and we may have, yeah, we put the original flywheel back on this motor, and we reused the torque converter. I know we knew we were supposed to replace the torque converter since the transmission was rebuilt, but it was some the weirdness with the flywheel. We got aggravated and just said to go with it and put it all back together, and it worked perfectly fine. So I wasn't worried about it. Okay, so anyways, I think that covers everything for the. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we used a remanufactured distributor. I wanted a brand new carburetor, but money was getting kind of tight. The settlement with the insurance company from the accident. All that money was about gone. It wasn't but $500. So I mean, it didn't last long. Uh, so my mother's boyfriend at the time, Harry, which dude's an A+ mechanic, and probably, well, we kind of called him a genius. That dude could build anything out of nothing. Anyway, he rebuilt the carburetor for me. Okay, yeah, I think that covers everything for the under the engine and the transmission. We did keep the trucks. Well, as far as we know, we kept the truck's 9-inch rear end, which is probably geared. We think it's the original rear end to this truck that it would have come from the factory with. Which this truck, by all accounts, started its life as a 6-cylinder. Which, there's some weirdness about that too. If you decode the VIN number, and this truck was made in Canada, that might be part of the culprit, part of the problem there. Their VIN number system may have been different, but the nothing on the truck quite matches. Nothing on the truck. If you decode the VIN, it should have been a V8 truck from the factory, but nothing. Everything actually on the truck suggested 6-cylinder, and we was told it started life as a 6-cylinder. By the time my brother bought it, it had a 302 in it, and he was going to try to do something with the truck, but the 302 that he got it with, I believe he determined it had 4 rods knocking. Anyway, it was more than one rod knocking. So he got rid of that motor, and he may have actually stuck another. He drove this truck for a while. He may have actually stuck another motor in here and pulled it out before he sold the truck to me. I just don't remember. Which it's a shame he doesn't have any of those motors anymore. When he moved from where he was living at to where he's at now, he left the motors up there, left the motors where they were at, and somebody stole them. Stole every damn one of them. I know he had at least 4 motors, and somebody got them. Anyway, that's just that, you know. Anyway, okay. Well, you know everything about now, as far as I can tell. Y'all know everything about the truck. Now, when it come to us, somebody, I guess, had decided that they wanted to make this thing some sort of like cool redneck hippie wagon thing or something. I don't know. I don't really know what term to use, but they'd taken some bucket seats out of a car, mounted them on 2x4s, and then screwed them down to the floor of the truck. The rusty patched together floor of the truck with 4-inch wood screws. Yeah, I got rid of that. And this is where the truck starts getting kind of rat roddy. When the truck came to us, it already had its can y'all see that? No, you can't. It already had its see if I can get you in there a little closer. I'm gonna pause this video. When the truck came to us, it already had its chicken wire grill there, which me and my brother both actually kind of liked that, so we decided to keep it. Yeah, and there's another thing too, YouTube. I may have forgotten to mention earlier. I don't recall if this truck's a 71 or 72. I just got old and I don't remember exactly. But anyway, you know, I'd intended this thing to be a work truck, but it kind of turned out to be a rat rod. Okay, let's move around to the interior so I can show y'all some of that. I didn't know it, and I don't think my brother knew it either. But when the truck came to us, it had gray. Well, it's not. It's nasty now because of all the rats in here. But it's got gray house carpet in the floor of it, and it's not even done that well. I pulled the carpet out to try to clean the truck up a little bit, and I discovered that the floors in this thing had been patched back together, and the patches were so damn old that they actually had rust holes in them. Which, yeah, I'm not reaching down there in all those rat turds to pull that carpet up for you. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. And I went to the junkyard on another I believe a 68, and I think I paid $10 for this bench seat. That's it's got a new cover on it, and I suspect it's probably an LMC truck cover. I mean, it doesn't look like, and to me it looks like it was manufactured in a factory. This don't look like something somebody recovered. And, you know, over there on the driver's side, it's still got its broken seat spring. I never repaired it. The way it was broken, and with my wallet being on that side, it just kind of worked out the way it needed to. So I never changed it. This truck, we also didn't know it at the time, but the truck's been repainted. So, and that's probably why we didn't notice it, but this truck has got parts from several other different trucks to put the body back together. That door over there being light blue, that's off of another truck. And let's go out here on that, back on the outside. The tailgate back there, which is down, that was off of a brown truck. If you look under it where they painted it, you can still see the factory tan brown. Well, it'd be more like a bronze, a light bronze. The hood, I believe it is original, and all this under here is likely to be original. You can see green under the paint there. But not sure if y'all can really see it, but there's white paint under the blue paint there, and then like a baby blue, sky blue right there under the blue paint. I figured that fender, since that it matches the door as far as the two-tone color, I suspect that the door and fender came off of the same truck. And, you know, they didn't fix this dent, and I hope that's not a bullet hole, but I think that might just be where they tried to pull the dent. But anyway, the whole bed itself is actually off of another truck as well. It's blue, but it's not the same color blue as what the truck is now. If you look under there, it's a different shade of blue than what's on the door. So I'm pretty sure that this ain't the original bed to the truck. And, you know, that's just the way it is. It had like some kind of marine boat tie down things mounted on it, but I think my brother wanted those, and I didn't really care for them on the truck, so I may have given them to him, or I may have taken them off and thrown them away. I just don't remember. And later on I bought a van, an 80-something van with a 350 in it, because, you know, that's what we stuck in there. In the truck, it's a 351 Windsor. So I bought a van with another 351 Windsor, thinking it'd be parts, but yeah, it didn't really work out that way, you know, because too much year difference, and the frame's wider. I think all I saved off of that van, was able to get off that van, was those American Racing Vector wheels, which I've got all 4 of those. Anyway, and no, those are not General Lee wheels. Those are the 16-spoke variety of the Vector. The General Lee had 10 spokes. You know, if you screenshot it and count the spokes, you can see they were 10 spoke. But anyway, that's what was available. And by the way, I bought that van for $400. Yeah, and I think I was actually going to get the exhaust off of it too, but for some reason I didn't. But anyway, then I forgot to mention the truck not having a rear bumper. The same truck in the junkyard that I got the seat out of, I bought the back bumper off of it. I think I paid like $20, $30 for the bumper, and I bought it knowing it had those little rust holes in it. I bought it because the truck needed a bumper, because I didn't have one. Laying back here somewhere amongst all this crap, I've got those little, probably, I suspect they came out of like a Jegs catalog or something. But those little stainless steel vent window visor thingies that go up here, I got those, which I never put them on the truck. And these are not factory mirrors either. I'm not sure if these are off of a later model Ford or if they're the actual aftermarket, what they call West Coast mirrors. I'm just not entirely sure. I've never noticed them having Ford stamped on them anywhere, so they may actually be they may actually be the West Coast mirrors. But yeah, they work a hell of a lot better than them big old, what I call barbershop mirrors that come way up here and bolted in. Those could actually, when you're making a turn, they can actually block your view and cause you to pull out in front of a car. But anyway, YouTube, I think that's gonna about cover it for this old truck. You know, I didn't intend for this truck to be as rat roddy as it is, but that's just kind of the way when you're not working with a budget at all. That's just kind of the way things turn out. But anyway, it is what it is. It was a damn good truck when it was running. Well, yeah, driving. It was running when I parked it. I just had to park it because the transmission went out. Yeah, the transmission, hell, it only lasted about 6 months. But okay, YouTube, I didn't intend for this video to be this long, but you know, it's what it turned out to be. I'm not gonna refilm it. I'd only intended this video to be for a fella called Gearhead's Garage. He's building a Speedway T-bucket, and I told him and maybe somebody else that I'd do this video just for him, and you know, it finally warm enough to actually get out and do that. So, you know, here it is. All right, YouTube, I thank y'all for watching. I would appreciate it if y'all would like, subscribe, and comment. Y'all have a good day.